Okay, everybody. So let's just discuss the eggs drawing. Now, um, we're a little bit not quite on schedule because, like I said earlier in the other video, basically I started watching your 2-point perspective packets coming in, and I could really see that we weren't ready to move ahead. So I want you. I'm not gonna grade the 2-point packets. I want them reworked and resubmitted. That is your homework to start with, okay? The other thing that you have to do is the eggs homework, the start of this project. Okay, this is a large assignment and it has 2 components, and students always kind of get a little fuddled here. Okay, so I'm going to say this like really, I hope really clearly. Okay, there are 2 components to this assignment: your studies and your final drawings. So again, there are 2 components to this assignment: your studies and your final drawings. Those are 2 different parts of the same assignment. Now, this is where it gets confusing, but I have a reason why I do this, and it's basically because it helps me to keep track of the work when I get your final drawings. So you're going to submit both parts of the assignment to the same assignment. It will let you do that. You just submit the first part, and then you just submit the second part again. And when you do that, it will just, they'll both be there, and I'll have both of them together. And that's what I want. I want both of these things together. Okay. That's why I have them only as the same assignment. So don't misinterpret here. If you have a question, right now is the time to email me, not the day before everything is due. So one more time, there are 2 components to this assignment: your studies and your final drawings. Both are going to be submitted to the same assignment. Okay. The reason being so that when I grade them, they're all in the same spot and I don't have to jump around to find the work. Because what I'm looking for is the growth and the building up of the project. That's why I want them together. Students sometimes get upset about this. This is my priority, like, is to see your growth. Okay. Because this is your first charcoal assignment and you're not with me. So like we haven't used charcoal together. And so like I want to see you making that growth on the same gradebook page. So I know that your growth is measurable. Okay. So I recognize sometimes students get confused by this, but ultimately it boils down to like just listening to what I'm asking you to do. It says this also in the assignment page. You're going to do the first part of the assignment, which are the studies, and upload it to the assignment, the egg assignment. And then you're going to do the final drawings and upload those. And what will happen is then I'll have both of them together, and so that I can grade them and understand your progress and your growth between those 2 things. It is vital to this assignment that I have those 2 things together so that I understand your growth and your progress. Okay, they're all the same grade. So let's look at the handout together and then we'll look at some examples. Now you already have a video on this. You have an hour-long egg drawing video. You should have already taken that quiz. Now, if you took the quiz without watching the video because somebody helped you or something, I would never even know that. But it's not going to help you. to do this assignment. And this assignment is one of the ones that I really prioritize. I really think that this assignment is important. If you can't draw an egg, you can't draw a head. You can't draw a head, you can't complete your final exam, which is a 3 foot by 4 foot self-portrait. So this is the foundation. Okay. So let's look at this together. Okay, so what you have is just basic information here. It's not, I'm not going to elaborate a lot here for you. Okay. You're going to attach to this both parts of your assignment. It says right here, please submit the sketches to this assignment first. And I use the word sketch and study interchangeably because they're the same thing. And then resubmit the finals to this assignment later. So again, you're going to do 2 components. I'm saying this again and again and again because students get this wrong all the time. You're going to do 2 components. You're doing studies, in which I also use the word sketches. And then you're doing final drawings. And yes, I want them together in the same assignment. That is how I want them. Okay. Think about it like you're in English class and the teacher asks you to do APA style and you do MLA style and you hand in your paper and the teacher gives it back to you and says, this is not the right style. This is APA style. I asked you to do MLA style. These things matter a lot to teachers who are trying to evaluate your growth and your progress rather than just subjectively grading. Because I don't subjectively grade. Okay, so you have 2 PDFs. You have one that is full of examples, and you have one that is the process of the project, like what you're required to do. So let's look at that one. Okay, this is, now I change my projects all the time, but this is an assignment that I generally don't change. The only thing I've done to this assignment since moving online is you have to do less. Originally it was 8 drawings and now you have to do 4 final drawings. Originally it was 8 final drawings, now you have to do 4. Okay. So it just gives you an idea, just like the video does. Why is the egg important? Like, what's the whole point? You know, but this is the egg, right? This is an egg. These are the concaveness of an egg. Okay, this is the convexness of an egg. If I'm looking at your brilliant and amazing drawings and I'm like so excited because they're so brilliant and so amazing, then inside my mouth is a concave egg shell, the shell of the egg. So I've listened to a lot of students online and they've given me feedback. I've tried to do, that's what I'm trying to react to right now is the feedback that I've had. So you're going to create 8 studies of an egg in preparation for the final drawings. You're going to then create 4 final drawings of whole and cracked eggshells on pastel paper. Okay, the studies are going to be very open in terms of what you think is necessary to study. Now, just like any test, you may study the wrong thing. Okay, and then it doesn't help you. But if you follow along, you should be okay. So requirements, 8 studies on mixed media paper of a white egg from different angles. Okay, you can make these broken eggshells, or they could be whole eggshells. sometimes students don't eat eggs, and so they may actually only procure one egg. And so since you have to do final drawings of the whole egg, I'll say, like, don't break the egg, like you need the egg whole. Please listen to me really cautiously here. Do not work from photographs. If we are working on your drawings afterwards because they need more work and you say, I worked from a photograph, you lose points. Do not work from a photograph. I only want you to draw from life. Does that mean you have to figure some stuff out? Yeah. Figure it out. That's what you do. Okay. So what you're going to do, you've got 8 studies. And those 8 studies prepare you for your 4 final drawings. Okay. So step 1, watch the video I made for you, take the quiz. Step 2, set up a white egg on white paper with a white background and light it with a single light source. Turn off all other lights, but make sure you're not drawing in the dark. I've actually walked into my classroom and found students drawing eggs, and it's pitch black and they can't see their drawing, but they can see the egg really well. It's not going to help you. Okay. But you want all the other lights off and a single light source on the egg. Okay. One thing you can do that I think can be helpful is, say I'm drawing like right here. I would, say I have my easel or my drawing board. You have a drawing board. I can put just a white document on my computer screen, and then I can use my laptop and turn it so that it's the actual laptop is blocking the light from the screen and the egg is on the other side. That's something you can do. If you don't have a laptop, you could do something similar where you take your phone and turn the flashlight on your phone and prop it up so that it's shooting light across your drawing. Okay. But here's the thing. When you have multiple light sources on your egg, your drawing is going to be way harder. So don't do it. Don't make it harder. This is one of the most difficult things you draw, the egg. Now, you may not think right now it's going to be difficult. This is going to be so hard. Okay. Not so much the studies. But when we start getting into the pastel paper and start using the charcoal, and I'll do a charcoal demonstration in the next class, and we talk about value, you're going to be like, can we please go back to linear perspective? Because that was easy. But I love drawing with value, and you're going to see how great it can be to help you to see form and dimensionality. One light source. Don't make it harder. So you set up your egg, you set up your light source, it's on a white piece of paper, it's got a white background, boom, everything is white. Why? Because then you can only deal with value, you're not dealing with color. Color is an extra layer of difficulty. We're not ready to deal with color. You're going to complete 8 assigned sketches on mixed media paper that explore compositional opportunities presented by the egg in the background. Complete these sketches. I suggest setting up your still life. And it says, I suggest working from life, but you have to work from life. I do not want you to work from photographs. Play with the closeness of the lamp to the egg, placement of the egg near the horizon line. Play around, find out what you can do right now that is either super interesting to you or manageable in terms of how hard it is, or both. Okay. 8 sketches total, equivalent of a quarter of the page. Okay, use the front and back if you want. Now, if you're using charcoal, that's not really going to work because it's going to rub off. You can tear the page if you want. You can cut the page if you want. I don't mind. I just want 8 drawings. Okay, per page. Or you could do 4 and 4. You do all 8 on one page, but you don't need to draw, you know, you don't need to use 8 sheets of paper and have 8 gigantic studies, okay? Studies are quicker, right? They're faster drawings. So a study would be a drawing that's done maybe in 10 minutes. You've actually already been practicing this with me, right? Like you've actually already been going through this. We've been doing this. It's just that perhaps we haven't applied that name. I think we have. I think we applied the term study in the past when we did some of the other drawings. Okay, so any preparatory drawing you may make is a study. Okay. Once you've done that, I suggest that you fix your drawings. What does that mean? Well, in your kit, you have a can of fixative. Okay, it's an aerosol can. It's toxic. Okay, so you only want to use it outside and you don't want to spray it into the wind. Don't use it in your garage. Don't use it on your balcony because the wind will just blow everything right into your house. So use it outside, away from wherever you're wherever you live. I can't get the word out. Make sure after you spray it that you leave it outside for a couple of minutes, because otherwise all the spray that's like kind of what we call flashing off, right? Like it's flashing off, it's evaporating. Like all that spray, if it's still doing that when you bring it in the house, your house will just get full of it anyway. So do it outside, do it away from the house, make sure you wait a couple minutes and then bring it inside. Like basically, if it still smells like fixative, it's probably still got fixative flashing off there. Now, there are instructions on the can of how to use the fixative. You want to keep it 6 to 12 inches away from the paper. And so like if this is my drawing and this is my fixative, I don't want to start like here and push down on the nib because it will get a puddle. I want to start on the outside and move over, back and forth, and kind of, I call it airplaning, kind of like airplane over the space. So like you start out here, so you push down on the spray nozzle beyond your drawing and then drop over your drawing and back and forth. That way you don't start with the nozzle over the drawing, because that's gonna give you a big puddle, which would be like super, super shiny. Okay. I did once have a student send herself to the hospital from fixative because she used it on her balcony, and then she left her balcony window open, and then she went inside and like basically it didn't do anything. She just sat there and huffed the fixative. And unfortunately, she was just very sensitive to it. Okay. We live in the world of masks. Put a mask on. It will help. Okay. And always, 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 always make sure you do it outside. Now, I already had a question from one of your peers that said, what if I use a piece of pastel paper here? You can play around. You've got enough pastel paper to kind of like play around, but don't use the pastel paper for your studies, because then you may definitely run out. Also, I don't want you restricted by the 9x12 size of the pastel paper. I want you to make your studies on the 18x24 so you can kind of explore. Okay. If you aren't ready to switch to charcoal, like you're way too intimidated, you can do them in pencil. Okay, we'll cover charcoal in the next class. If you're ready to jump into the charcoal, which I hope you are, in your kit, you've got like some like longer charcoal sticks and some shorter ones. The longer ones are in the longer box and they're called fine charcoal. Try those out, see how they work. You're gonna make a mess. Don't wear white clothing. Don't do this on white carpet. Don't do this on a white sheet. This is when I tell students to get out of bed. Okay. This is not when you want to be in bed in a white hoodie trying to draw. You're going to get charcoal everywhere. After a really good session of charcoal drawing, you're probably going to have charcoal like on your face and on your hands. So I suggest you, like if you have a sensitivity to airborne particles, you wear a mask. And that will help, you know. Charcoal as a toxic object isn't, you know, like it's not toxic. Like if you actually go to the hospital and you actually have eaten something or drunk something that is dangerous, they may give you charcoal because it absorbs in your stomach. So like it's not necessarily about that. It's more just about like if you have a sensitivity to like airborne particles, perhaps you may want to wear a mask. Some students really don't like the feel of the charcoal in their hands. So in that sense, you might want to wear some gloves. I don't like to do that because I lose the tactile ability to like push the charcoal around with my hands and really get a sense of like what it's doing under my fingers, which is something which I love. But some students don't like it, and I understand that. Dries out your hands. Okay. So I feel like this is pretty good. 8 sketches, mixed media paper, size is up to you. I would use charcoal if you're comfortable playing around. It's okay if you're not. But hey, you know, we got to start at some time. And why, you know, I would have found it really hard by now as a student to have not taken out everything in my kit and kind of played with it. So maybe you've done that. Once you've done your studies, then you're going to do your final drawings. You're going to pick the best points of view and the best angles from your studies, the ones that you learned the most on, perhaps. And you're going to work into the next part of the drawing. You're going to tone a piece of pastel paper with your medium fine charcoal. Use your chamois, which we'll talk about next class, to cover the surface with the charcoal. Then you're going to start to make your drawing. You're going to add darks. You're going to lift out lights, just like in the video that I did for you, and then build up the drawing. Okay. The first part that you need to worry about are your studies. That is what you're worrying about right now, and those need to be uploaded to the assignment for the eggs on Thursday. Okay. And so I'll put an event reminder for you on the calendar. Now, let's look at a couple students' egg studies, not their final drawings, but their studies. Okay. There's a whole PDF of final drawings that you can look at. So these are some studies from students. Okay. These students are students who perhaps used charcoal before. I don't know. I've never met a lot of my students these days. I don't get a chance to talk to them. Don't forget to sign up for your mandatory graded meetings with me. The pages are not full. They should be full. There was only enough spots for all the students. So if there's a bunch of spots missing, that means people aren't signing up. And if you're not signing up, then you're not getting a chance to talk to me. And then you're also not getting your grade. So make sure you do that, or email me for an alternative time. I've said that in the announcements a number of times now. Every single one of you by now should know that you can email me for an alternative time if you cannot make the meetings either tomorrow or on Thursday. So these are some studies from students. Here's some more. Okay, these are not refined finished drawings. These are just ideas. Okay, how long is a study? No more than 20 minutes. Okay, here's some more here. Some more here. Okay, the idea is like you draw the egg from one angle and you turn it. You draw it from another angle and you turn it, and then light it from a different side. You know, you move it closer to the join between the paper and the surface that the egg's on. Whatever you do, don't draw on top of cloth. I definitely ask you not to draw on cloth. It definitely says a piece of paper. Okay, we haven't talked about cloth yet. You don't need to challenge yourself more. Like, we're already there. This is already a challenge, okay? So keep things nice and simple for me. White background, white paper, okay, white egg, single light source. Your studies are your egg drawn from multiple points of view, and you can see lots of these students, you know, in fact, all of these students, nobody cracked their egg and used their broken shell. I would suggest you do if you can, because that way you can see like what's going to be hard about drawing the shell. But here you're definitely going to figure out which ways are the best ways for you to draw the egg, like what's easy and what's not easy. Okay, so do your best for your studies. Those are going to be due on Thursday. And then in the next class, which is on Wednesday, I'm going to do a charcoal demonstration. And please, right now, y'all, I'm not going to grade your packets, your 2-point packets. Every single person needs to go through their 2-point packets and have a look again after today's lessons that I gave. Saw so many mistakes, and like I just know that we're not ready to move on. And so please make sure that you do that. Otherwise, when I go to grade them, you know, you're going to see that grade. And so I don't want to pre-grade them. I want you to go through them, use your own ability, and really fix what needs to be fixed. Okay, thanks everybody.